see if we can kick this off a little bit better than last time. Give a few minutes to let everybody kind of join in. Your boomer boy started streaming this with no sound again, so we're going to do this one more time. We're just waiting for people to rejoin. Enjoy the eye candy while you wait.
Un selfie que te ve bien cabrón. Brindamos todas las copas. Ese trabajo. Tírate un selfie que te ve 1,000,000. No hay trabajo en la mañana, un bendición. Baby, put your favorite dress on. And maybe we can skip and go right to the sequel. Prende Philly Blunt, take a hit for the people. El Instagram que se algoritmo, machuca sin vergüenza y la tiro con ritmo. Agua. You know I like it like that.
Well, we got us one.
You know I like it like that. Yeah. Tírate un selfie que te ve bien cabrón.
Man, we got one member. Let's get in the store. One member. Can we get two? Can we get two? Can I get three? Three members. Can we get one member? That's two. Right there, one member. In the middle, blue shirt. What the hell was that? Did you get blessed by the Holy Spirit? What happened? Well, I got us one. Close the door, Ethel. Don't let him out. Well, it's 3 o'clock. It's time to get started. Let's go and get one with the alpha. All right. Take two, everyone. Take two. Places. Push your... Yes, thank you.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you.
You don't have to hit the like on this one. This is a private video. It's in the membership section, membership YouTube section. So no commercials. No, don't worry about liking, subscribe. Well, you have to subscribe if you're here. So for you guys to give a little extra to me to help support the channel, I do appreciate it because the channel costs money to run. It has to come out of my pocket for the last 2 years. So every little bit, the Tangem wallets, the memberships, anything, the super chats, everything, I very much appreciate it. It helps alleviate that burden on me to throw all this stuff out there every night for free. So I appreciate that. And so as a form of that, I want to give a little extra when Haven Peck was out here and killing it on those Solana meme coins and making that profit, and he gave out all the free memberships. I was like, wow, man. I appreciate that, and I should give back for that. So I'm doing a little extra over here. It lets me kind of share a little bit more than I'm comfortable just throwing out there to the whole YouTube world. There's that little $3 paywall allows me to kind of open up my accounts a little bit, because the account that I'm going to show you started out for my show, but it ended up growing. And not because I just made all kinds of profits on it, but I kept adding, and there was some profits, but it got bigger than what I'm comfortable sharing, throwing out there. All right. So we're going to go over spot margin, and this is one of the biggest strategies that I use. It's at a great time in the market to do so, and let me explain why. Okay, Bitcoin. Okay, there are the best times in this cycle to use a spot margin strategy is in these bottom accumulation zones, man. That's the most beautiful place because you can build up positions. It's beautiful for spot market. It's beautiful for hodlers, for investors. It's beautiful for position traders. It's beautiful for swing traders. We're going to talk about the difference between spot margin, futures, and spot in just a second. I'll rehash that, but I can be quicker because I've just got some experience going over this. But right now, so doing this at the bottom, great. And I was doing that at KuCoin, and strategy was working out beautifully until I had to leave KuCoin. That's the bad thing. That's the thing you got to keep in your head. Oh, well, hell, the only thing that really screwed this up for me would probably be the exchange kicking me off. that can throw a big monkey wrench in your profits and plan and everything. So that's a risk. Be aware of that. That's a risk. Not only can the market dump and take you for a ride, the exchange can take you for a ride, because that stuff never happens when we're at a top. That kind of news always comes out. You gotta get off when we're at a bottom for some reason. Call me crazy, but it just does. It always has in my personal experience. That's a risk. Second juicy time to do this strategy is when your bags are bleeding, everything is down, and we're at a severe correction or severe pullback. A beautiful time to consider opening up a spot margin. Now, I'm going to throw a link out there for any of you guys who are interested in using that. That does help the channel, or so they say. I haven't seen it yet, but it's supposed to, so I'll believe it until otherwise. But I do use CoinEx. That's available. I do have to have a VPN to use it. As long as I am not from the United States, or as long as it doesn't show up that I'm coming from the United States, I have no problems whatsoever. They do not care. They shouldn't have to care. It's not up to the rest of the countries in the world to say, oh, well, let's weed out everybody that's coming through this line. Excuse me, sir, are you from America? Excuse me, are you from... Why is a free country preventing us? Why is our free country preventing us from doing business? I'm not going to with other countries or other exchanges. It goes against what we're about. So I'm not going to get in a rant about that, but it's up to you to decide, do I want to use a VPN to go to a non-KYC exchange? Am I cool with that? I'm cool with that, because that's my freedom. So, and I'm exercising my freedom. There is no laws on the books that says that I cannot conduct business. So here we go. At a low here. And see, I was going to throw up my CoinEx. You got sidetracked, didn't you? It happens. There's a link to CoinEx there. Let's give a shout out to everybody who's here on the membership stream. We got Sam Webb and Dave P. Joe from Trade Intuition was here on the last one, but I don't know if he'll be able to make it back now. Or I don't know if they must have gone to Joe's stream. Well, he's been doing them at a different time, so I didn't think that I would interrupt him today. He's been going at some different times. I didn't know he would go back to 3. But anyway, he can come back and watch it later. All right, so spot margin. What the hell is it? What can we do with it? Why do we need it? How can it benefit us? How can it make us richer quicker? How can it help you get paid sooner? I'm going to talk about all that stuff. Set my little timer so that this is not a crazy 2-hour stream or anything, because I'd rather do some short streams than spend my time doing too many. All right, so let's kick it off. Let me get my first thing up here. This is CoinEx. Now, this is where I've got mine going over. But let me tell you a secret. When it comes to learning trading and learning how to trade, one of your best places to go to for information, I'm always going to mention Thomas Bukowski's patternsight.com, but don't overlook your exchanges. They have got great tutorials on how to trade. Remember, they make their money by keeping traders there and keeping them happy. If you're a successful trader, you're more likely to stick around there, and you're more likely to make them richer through the little fees that they collect on every transaction that you have, or every amount of money that you borrow on, say, like spot margin and hold it for a while. There are some fees there because you're borrowing. There's some percentage to pay back, but you're making more money than you're paying back in fees. That's why this is beautiful. Welcome to leverage. So there are areas I recommend on whatever exchange you use. There's tutorials on how to trade, and you can learn some really good alpha. Find a way to, so you don't have to go pay $5,000 for some course or group and just be reluctant on them to spoon feed you stuff. You can actually find a lot of this stuff in information places if you know where to look. Exchanges shouldn't be overlooked for that. Now, saying that, let's come over and let's talk about spot margin or spot trading, margin trading in futures. All right. So spot, the characteristics is you put your buy and sell orders out there. They get met. You got your coins. You hold it. It's yours. Take it. You can take it off the exchange, and it's all yours, baby. All yours. Okay. The pros are that that you've got those coins. It's not going to change. You've got, you bought 100 coins, you're guaranteed to have 100 coins. Not so much when you come to win leverage, because that can fluctuate. Yeah, crazy. Okay, the cons with spot margin is that, well, short selling is not available. You don't make money on the way down unless you just sell and hope that you can buy back cheaper and, capitalize on the difference. You only make profit when number go up with spot margin. But let's be real. Your multimillionaires in crypto, especially the OGs, when the leverage and all that stuff was not available, This is how they made their multi-millions with spot, because you got the volatility so high, and if you play it just right, you can make a lot of money paying attention to the cycles with just spot. Most of your millionaires are doing that. Let's be real, okay? Now, futures trading, which you're probably familiar with and had your ass handed to you many times, as I have many times on futures, it's a casino, and it's designed to take your money. Now, these perpetual futures contracts never expire. That's why they're called perpetuals. They're perps. Normal future contracts on the legacy market do expire after time, but these never do, which gives them the uncanny ability to make infinite number of Bitcoin. This is paper Bitcoin. You could have 25 billion Bitcoin worth of paper Bitcoin. There's no limit to Bitcoin because it's all IOU speculative. And to an extent, this can have an effect on the spot price, just in sentiment, okay? It's horrible. It can affect the market. This is why these futures ETFs tanked the market back in 2018 or 2017 and also in 2021. It was futures ETFs that were doing that conveniently at the top of the market. So I know you put the tinfoil hat on. But anyway, you make profits from the rise and falling prices with futures, as you know. The pros are that you can short or you can long on futures, and you can maximize your actual gains, but they do not expire and they go on forever. Now, the cons are that you got to bear the risk. Now, you can make a lot of money going up, but as soon as it goes against you, you're losing a lot and a lot sooner. And welcome to liquidation, and how quickly that when you get in the negative, it can really just it can flip on you and turn on you like a dime. Once you're down 5%, next you're down 55%, just like that. That's how that leverage can knock you out. That high leverage, especially, it gets very volatile, very uncontrollable. And the sweet spot in the middle between those two is the margin trading, which is not as popular on a lot of the exchanges. Now, I like the exchanges that offer it, so that's why I'm over at CoinEx, because they have this. Binance has it, KuCoin has it, CoinEx has it. Plow ID, I haven't got one yet, but that's definitely going to be so I can have more access to these things, and not have to worry about being kicked off an exchange, because that, like I said, that can screw you up, right? All right, let me clear that. Okay, good. All right, so now with spot margin, what's the deal with it? Well, you can also magnify the initial capital, and you can amplify your gains, just like you can with futures. But you also get to keep the coins that you have as you're on, just like you can with spot. And that's what's beautiful about it. On futures, you don't really have those coins unless you're trading the coin pair or the inverse pair. But with spot margin, those coins are yours, and you can take them off the exchanges. You can, and the money that you borrow there, it's yours. You can take that money off the exchange if you borrow off of it. Think about the possibilities of that just for a second. All right. Now, the pros are you can maximize your profits, longing or shorting. The cons are, well, you got to pay back the loan. Okay, so let's talk about this. What do you mean pay back a loan? Well, spot margin is based on collateral. So let's say most altcoins on there are trading, altcoin pairs trade at a 3x, 5x, and then you see maybe your bigger ones like Bitcoin, Ethereum that do a 10x. And so they're set there for those pairs. And what that means, let's say I've got $100 that I want to put in over on, I don't know. I got $100 I want to put in on the altcoin, and it's a 3x. That means if I'm putting $100 over there, I could borrow up to $300. Okay. Should I? No. You can probably borrow half of what you put over there, borrow all the way. If I put $100 over there and borrow $100, that's good. That's fair. That keeps my risk under control. Now, I'm not going the full 3x, but I can slowly build a position there, and then it just gradually builds up over time. It's a really cool concept. Now, my collateral, what I've found that works best for me, and the whole purpose that I'm trying to do the spot trading account is to grow Bitcoin. This is what I'm doing now, since I've got all these bags that were sitting on my wallets, hardware wallets, not doing anything, just waiting for number to go up. Could be a year from now before that happens. since we are at a crash, it's a beautiful time for me to move those bags over here to spot margin if it's available, and I can double those bags or triple those bags. Let me give you an example here with Caspa. Now, Caspa, I used to have about 50,000 in this position. I've grown it to 70 something thousand. I grew it to 100,000 just about a week ago, and now I've got it to 161,000. Caspa, I grew that bag that way using this technique. Now, my liquidation point for Caspa is over here at 10 cents. I would kind of like to get it a little bit down because theoretically, maybe we could see 10 cents. We had a big ass, I don't know. If we had some kind of a big, at the bottom fell out of the market, I still want to be safe. That's what I'm trying to look at when I'm looking at my liquidation prices. That's something I always keep an eye on. I want a low liquidation price. I'm also keeping an eye on my little risk factor over here. He says that's 169%. The closer we are to 200, the more I am closer to just being, all in some really, really good profit, even doubling. The closer I am to 100%, the closer I am to being liquidated. That means I'm getting close to 10 cents over here. So I'm always watching this risk percentage because I like to keep it about 150 or above now. I used to let it get down to about 130 and be okay with it. And I'm like, after this last drop, I'm like, learned some lessons, and I'm like, no, I'm 150 or better, usually. When we start getting into the 140s, I start looking at them. Well, I'm still safe, but I start looking at them. For instance, like for Ethereum right over here. Oh, crap, what did we do? What did we do? So for Ethereum over here, I've got, I put less than one Ethereum in to start this, just to let you know. Ethereum is 10 to 1, which is way too much for me to mess with, to borrow. If I wanted to, I could borrow on the Ethereum that I put in. Right now, I could borrow $21,000 on that. Am I going to do it? Hell no. I'm not going to get wrecked. The more money that I borrow, the more that I raise my liquidation price. Right now, and I have borrowed money because I borrowed $6,000 already. I don't need to borrow another 20. I don't want to get liquidated at $3,000. I've got a liquidation point at 21.31, which still on the table we could hit. We get a nasty drop. They want to drop prices down so they can get a better deal on the ETFs, like what they've been doing on Bitcoin. You know, I could get hit. The only way that I can control my liquidation price is to pay back that loan, and that lowers this. That's how I work with that. So that's what we do. We keep our liquidations lower than where we can comfortably even think about going. That's my game plan. And that's the hard lessons that, I mean, I was trying to do that before, and I thought I was safe on that with the big drop, but I had to learn, I got to go a little bit stronger on there. I was getting a little too carried away with my borrowing over here. So when Bitcoin started, when we started seeing that my liquidation on Bitcoin at that time was about 52,000. And so you can imagine when we start seeing the potential, the chart says, I might be getting ready to take you down to your liquidation point. Well, I start freaking out a little bit. And you probably saw that in my streams while I'm sitting there going, guys, I gotta take care of this stuff, man. I mentioned that because that's real. But that put me in a position where I've got to straighten my ass out. So what I did is that I was able to finagle with my profits and everything and be able to pay this down. I had this up to $107,000 borrowed against my Bitcoin. But now I paid it back down to 94 and I've got my liquidation price down to 40. That's a hell of a lot more manageable. I feel a hell of a lot more safer with that liquidation price than I do at 52 or 56,000. Oh, especially 56. Oh my gosh. So that's what it's all about. Now, my goal is to continue paying this down. I want to get this down to where I'm about 36, maybe even 32,000. All the while adding a little bit more into my Bitcoin fund over here and paying down this loan. I do that with all these big old ugly bags of altcoins that I have. And let me be the first to say, or I've said it before, make sure what I said on the last stream and what I say on this one, I'm not getting them confused there, if I said it or not. I'm a degen. I have a problem. I have too many coins. I'm in too many projects. It's not the best situation to be in. It puts me in a situation of opportunity cost. Not the best thing, but I know that. And I've been wanting to shrink these things down. And I've been able to do that on this drop, but also now I can take this plan with the spot margin because a lot of those bags are available spot margin. So I've got all these coins here, all these positions. Now the lower ones that I'd have no real conviction in, yeah, I'm going to be taking profits on these. I'm going to be milking them for all they're worth as they gain profit to pay back this loan on Bitcoin so that I can come out of here with as much of this 2.27 Bitcoin as possible. And with the hopes of gradually increasing that over time, man. If I can grow that to 5 and try to get all that out of there, see what my plan is, keep growing my Bitcoin bag and trying to pull out as much as I can through this process. But I'm also keeping some of these other coins like Caspa. I want to keep my Caspa. I'm growing that bag. I'm hoping to get this up to 200,000. I was kind of doubting if I could do it, but now I'm seeing, yeah, on the trajectory, as long as I'm managing my risk on this and being sensible about my liquidation prices and my risk levels, yeah, man, I can slowly build this up to a $200,000 bag of Caspa. When she starts getting, she starts gradually going up, I'm peeling off little profits at a time and repaying this loan. Now, I'm going to talk about something here about what I'm doing also with this strategy that's let me get paid every day. I mean, actual paid every day. Now, I mentioned before my strategy, and I've got to go to where I can draw to talk about this. But if you have an account, let's say I got a $100,000 account. Well, and this is just spot. This is not leverage. And me doing this with a little bit of leverage lets me magnify this. But what if my plan was to take 5% of whatever my account or wallet amount, whatever I had, and try to pull that out as profit or pulling as part of my collateral to pull it out per month. That way, I'm taking profits steadily. You can do that with the spot margin and not miss a beat. But every time that I've been interacting with that, I'm paying myself a little bit. It may be, think about this. Here's what's been working for me. Let me share this, let me get back. So anyway, 5%, let's say I'm trying to pull out $2,500 a month or trying to pull out $5,000 a month. It's up to you to figure that out, right? Well, I divide that by 30 and it gives me, let's say, let's just go with about $100 a day. Let's say it's $3,000. I want to pull out $3,000 a month. Is that doable? Yeah, I shouldn't even miss that. If you're figuring that maybe Bitcoin goes up or crypto's up with 5% each month for the next 12 months, I mean, it's going to do a lot more than that, but you can safely assume that there's a good cushion you can pull out 5% a month. So $100 a day, right, to make $3,000 a month. Could I pull that out of this? Hell yeah. Let me show you how easy. You can do more. Especially on good days. Now, on a real red day, you may want to skip this. But Caspa, looky here. I want to borrow $50. I borrowed $50. I may want to trade. Caspa's sitting at 16.5 cents right now. She's getting a little bit of a drop. She may drop lower. I don't know. But you know what? Oh, where's my line? I think 15.5 is a good place that she might hit. I don't know if she will or not. I'm going to put an order there for half of that amount, $25. Look at that. I didn't use all that money. What could I do with it? You see where it says transfer? I can go over here to Caspa, switch over to USDT. I can switch this from margin to spot. I can transfer that $25. I've just paid myself. That easy. Could I take $100 a day out of all these coins? Do you think that I could finagle a few dollars out of each one to add up to $100 a day to pull out and pay myself? I've been, averaging about $500 a day, safely pulling out, still watching this thing go up, and we're doing good. But now, that's one other idea to implement. It opens up a bigger world of possibilities for how you manage this. You're actually getting to act a little bit more like a bank than a trader, if you think about it. You got a lot more possibilities and a lot more things open for you. Now, let's take a look. Now, is this the end all be all? No. Now, I'm going to share my profit and loss. You're going to see that I am down a hell of a lot overall, but I made back a lot of it. We'll see how this lets you see how this is going to help me bounce back from the big drops that we had and the losses. I gotta say, this last big drop that we had of Bitcoin, I didn't get liquidated of any of these things. The first one got my render position. It did. But since then, I was able to build back another bag of 521 render, which is in a good little place right now. And if I needed to borrow money off my render, how much could I get? I could borrow $2,000 off of my render because I got that much in collateral built up from it. Since I got liquidated, I made my money. I'm making my money back. But let's look and see. Let's go over my entire account here. Let's just throw it out here. Last 7 days, I recovered $10,000. Hell yeah. Last 30 days, I've been down $33,000. That hurt. That was a lot more than that. Let's go back to the last 90 days. Over the last 90 days, I'm only down $28,000. Let me tell you, the last week when you saw me all nervous and everything, this thing was down like $70,000. Yeah. I'm not used to seeing so much in one spot to where the fluctuation kind of takes you back, but be prepared for that when you group all your money in one place and you get a pullback. And that's when you ride the roller coaster, you start noticing that portfolio, those dips start getting a little bit more kind of gut wrenching, kind of wild. So overall, I'm down I'm still down $28,000, but I'm making it back fairly quickly. And Bitcoin's not even recovered to $60,000 yet. We're still closer to where we fell to that almost wrecked me than where we were to begin with. Now imagine when we get back to where we began with, which eventually we will, how much of a profit am I going to be in? Will I be recovered? Will I be up? Will I be able to pull out more than $500 or $1,000 a day just to keep paying me? Where I have some dry powder, I've got a system now where I can have some dry powder, and next time we get a dip down, I don't have to go borrow the money. I've got it sitting there in reserve. Now we're getting somewhere. Now I can start pulling all the coins off that I want to keep. My Bitcoin, my Ethereum, my Caspa, all those big bags that I've grown. I can pull a majority of those big suckers off and have a humongous bag ready for the second part of this bull run when those altcoins actually do take off. Because I didn't have the money to do it when we were at a low. I didn't have the opportunity to buy a bunch when Caspa was a penny to get those big old multi-thousand coin bags back then when it was a smart. I had to kind of build it on the way. But you can, and you can do it with spot margin, and that's what's so cool about it. You can control your risk better. You're less likely to get your ass handed to you like you are with perpetual futures. It's a lot more forgiving, a lot less expensive. It's just a good strategy and technique to put in your toolbox, and it's making me some good old-fashioned gains. All right, so I'm sitting here trying to look in the chat. I don't know if I got the right chat up or not. Let me see. If you guys got any questions, if I lost you on anything, feel free to ask questions. That's what I'm here for. This is a good strategy. It may work for you. It may not be your cup of tea, but I'm just showing you what's working for me and what I'm doing, and then I'm actually showing you how it's working out. Is it working for me or not? So far, you can see that I'm making a comeback. I don't know. Did it show? Let's go back to the P&L. Does it show? Yeah, look at this. Now on here, it tells me I got down as far. Listen, I've seen that number bigger. Maybe it kind of auto self-corrects over time or something, but I've seen that number get a lot scary. But it tells me I was down 42,000 July 6th. Is this for 90 days? Where was before? I would have, because I figured that first one we had back last month got me down more. I'm surprised about that. This last one, July 6th, I'm sitting here after, we have that little thing on my stream about the possible reversal on July 5th. And the very next day, I'm down like crazy. Oh my God. Where did all my money go? Where did all the gains go that I had? What happened? And now I made almost half of that back. Now I'm, well, 12,000 of it back, I guess, looks like. And counting and going. Am I worried? That's over in the 90 days. Last 7 days, $10,000 to the upside. Since we may have hit our, reversal point. Hopefully it is. I don't know if it is or not. But if it keeps going, and we go up another $2,000 in Bitcoin, oh baby, I get to maybe go up another $10,000 in profit over here. And recover quicker because I'm doing this and building these bags at a potential bottom. Don't know for sure that the bottom is in for these areas for altcoins. They may continue down. That's why I've got a lot of wiggle room. Am I in a video game again? There's something. I'm in a video game. There we go. And where's what you're looking for? Margin right here. All right. Let me check with the chat over there real quick. See what I'm mesmerized, dog. How would you build a fresh $1,000 account? Honestly, well, you could just put your money over there and do your money against the coin. Here, honestly, I would put that $1,000 into Bitcoin, and then I would put that Bitcoin over to spot margin, borrow against that Bitcoin, and then build your bags. So for instance, you would put your $1,000 in, and then on Bitcoin, you would be able, it will tempt you with the ability to borrow, if you put $1,000 in of Bitcoin, you can borrow Bitcoin or dollars, but you would be able to borrow up to about $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. No. Borrow 1,000, 1,500, maybe 2,000. See where that sets you for your risk levels, and you should be really good. It'd probably still be kind of high, and that's where you want it. And you'll notice that your liquidation point would be at a very, very low place, and you want to keep it at a low place. But you've just now turned $1,000 into $2,000 that you can use, and you can take that $1,000 and put it over to spot. You can transfer it over, and this is what I've done. And then you go to spot, and if I wanted Caspa, snag me up a little bag of Caspa, maybe $200 worth of Caspa. All right, here's the beauty. You take that $200 worth of Caspa over here. Caspa's like it's at a 3x, I think. Well, now you can borrow against that. That's collateral. Do you see how this is working? Now, that $200, I can borrow another $200 of that and start working on building that bag. I can take remember, I still got more money over there. I've got $1,000. That was just $200. I want some Solana. I'll buy a little bit of Solana while it's down here cheap. Move it over to spot margin. I don't know. Let's say I bought $200 worth of Solana. Well, Solana, I believe, is a 5x. So I could borrow $1,000. Not going to do it. Probably just going to borrow the $200 worth that I put in. Now I got $400 worth that I can work with. You've already doubled that bag just by moving to the spot margin and borrowing your collateral against it. So effectively, you can take that $1,000 and do a whole lot with it with spot margin because it gives you that opportunity. And that's the beauty. That's the secret of it right there. With the question you just asked and the example I just showed you will help you multiply your bags like crazy. You're just doing it. You're borrow the same amount that you put in, and you should be fine. You should be fine. You shouldn't get any. When you start borrowing more than that, you start opening yourself up to more risk. But if you put $100 in of a coin and you borrow $100 against it, you just done the 1x, 2x, whatever. Very, very, very safe. Very safe. And I'm telling you, this is a strategy I don't ever hear anybody talking about, but it's one that I'm gonna document it here. You'll see what's going on. Whether she pans out or not, but I do anticipate that this sucker will continue just to keep working. And this, for anyone that doesn't have a lot, this is a way that you can use leverage responsibly without throwing it out to the futures and just hoping for the bet, with being tempted with the 77x leverage or whatever that, you know, Mr. 1 minute YouTuber is out there trying to tell you, risk $1,800 so that you can make 50 or lose 200, you know, and this is a much better way to steadily build wealth. And you're doing it with wealth tactics that you will need to depend on after you get your money. Once you realize that Bitcoin is like real estate, that it is the end all be all, and that you can borrow against it and then do things in your life. You know, look, I mean, I'm not going to say this as a habit to get into, my gosh, because if you do this as a habit, it could get wrecked. But let's say you're in a pinch. You need to go on vacation like I do in a few weeks. If I need to, I could borrow, like I said, I could borrow up to $300,000. That would put me in a highly good possibility to lose everything if I did that. But if I borrow $5,000, look, my risk, and let me take it out. Let's transfer it from margin to spot. Transfer my $5,000 so I can go on vacation. It's made my liquidation price go from 40,000 to 42,000, and my risk level has dropped to 140. Which on Bitcoin, I mean, I had this down to 123, and that's as low as I've had it. I still had a lot of room to go, but I was sweating bullets when I saw it go down to 120. I was like, I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it. So I don't want to be in that situation again. But that's a way that you can do it. You have to do it very responsibly. I probably shouldn't have shown that to Degens. There's probably somebody out there, oh, let's go borrow it all, you know, and run up like a credit card thing. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put all this back over there because, like I said, I'm trying to pay mine down. So I'm going to go back to repay, go there, and I'm going to pay all that. So no, I'm repaying this. Oh, I got to transfer it back from spot to margin. Dollars, all of it. 5,000 to 25. I'm picking up a $25 that I had over there. I'll do it. That's what I do. Any little extra, I did. Remember $25 I took from another coin just a minute ago? Yeah, I'm paying my Bitcoin with it right now. And this is what I'm doing. That's my example where I could pay myself and pull out, you know, $100 a day. Yeah, I already did that. So now I'm putting all that over here on Bitcoin because that's my goal. I got to pay this sucker off, right? $5,025. And now that put me back up to 147.75% for my risk. My liquidation price is back down to 40,000. And I want to continue paying that down until I get this about 36 or 38. A place where we probably will not see, that I'm pretty comfortable that we will not see out of Bitcoin if all hell breaks out. That's what I got to do. That's the main goal for me here. Everything else I get here is gravy. Building up all these little bags. Seriously, taking this bag from around 50, 60, 70,000 all the way up to 160,000. I just put 11,000 more cash flow in here within the last 2 days, and there's more coming because it's a great way that I can build and do it responsibly without doing something crazy, without getting liquidated. And it's all about just managing it right here. So hopefully that's giving you guys a little bit of an idea. I lost the chat again. I don't want to spend too much time on the stream here. Where'd you go, chat? Let me check the chat and see if we got any questions out here. So, Good Brown Gravy asked about the fresh $1,000 count. I hope I explained that pretty well. Sam said the alpha's amazing. I hope so. At this point in the market, if you guys are ready for something like this, this could be a game changer. Or this concept could be a game changer. I would keep it, if nothing else, in the back of your mind for when you might be able to use it if you're not ready yet. That makes sense? But do keep in mind, I mean, as you build your wealth, you might be tempted if you're in, you know, if you're in altcoins, you need to sell and take profit at some point during this 4-year cycle. If you're falling into that, if you're listening to the people saying, hold it for years or cycles or multi-cycles, that's bullshit. You're riding the roller coaster up and down, and you don't want that dip down. So you want to get out of all your altcoins this cycle. I mean, seriously, all of them. Even if you're a Caspa lover and, you know, Caspa Maxi, whatever, she's going to still take that 80-90% dip, and it's not a fun ride. when you're all hyped up and everything's supercharged and your account still shows a good balance and you're there, that's all right, we'll stomach it, that's fine, I'll hold on to it. Yeah, until 2 years later and you're like, that was the dumbest choice I ever made. What was I thinking? Bitcoin might be a little different. I might sell 25% of my Bitcoin, but I'm only going to hold that one. I will hodl that one down. That one's going to be the exception because that was the one that the whole world wants with the limited supply. So I don't want to get fully out of that. But the beauty is, if I'm holding on to that, even if the prices drops and we go back into the next bull bear market, you know, I should have some cash to buy some fresh Bitcoin and still have the old Bitcoin that I had. And then I'll use this again on spot margin, borrow against it, building up my bags. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Coulda, woulda, shoulda would tell you that if I hadn't got off of Kitcoin, I would be up a whole lot more than I am now, but I don't know. It was working beautifully over there. It works beautifully over at CoinEx. I would say it's going to keep on working beautifully if you just be responsible with it. Samwez, I'm still figuring out CoinEx. The more I'm with it, the more I really like it. Don't even have money on it yet. Well, yeah, you got to do that. Now, I've been thinking about maybe, once we recover a little bit, I'll open up a different account that I can actually go over on my late night streams a little bit more comfortably, because things just got kind of crazy. And, I was doing futures pretty regular over there, but man, that drop. Let's talk about that real quick too, just so I can get my transparency things out. I think I started that account somewhere around 2,500 if I remember right. And I mean, I got my ass handed to me on that big drop. I did something stupid. I wasn't trying to be stupid. I was trying to be clever, and I was really close. My strategy was just within dollars of actually working out. And my calculation was just off just enough, and my timing, excuses, but this is what I've learned from it. But the main lesson I learned was that, well, the whole idea was a little too risky. It was the kind of, I'm not going to repeat those mistakes anymore. I took on a little bit too much risk and I paid for it. My profit and loss analysis over here. Let's take a look, because I moved money in and out to save this account's ass. I was in danger of losing another $3,500. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this again. So I used some techniques to save its ass that it worked. I was using those same techniques earlier, which failed because I took my eye off the ball. That was crazy, but when I went live, I wasn't paying attention, and I got liquidated. They went right and got me, or my area got hit. Put it that way. But it's my fault, but it all comes out not to what happened there, but a choice that I made way back, not to not to get out of the trade. I should have got out of that position a long time ago. It was my fault. So for the last 90 days, I've lost my ass on this. We'll see how much I lost, but I'm only down 4,000 now. But I've had to put money in here to try to recover, and I'm planning on making my losses back. This market's not going to take me from my money. I'm going to get it back. What I'm doing now, I was doing like 20x, and I thought I could handle 20x. I almost did, just by the skin of my teeth. But now I'm like, no, that's too much. I'm at 8x right now. 10x will be my max on Bitcoin. Pretty much sticking just to Bitcoin for futures because I'm more familiar with Bitcoin than I am the altcoin charts. When you do with altcoins for futures, man, you got so many other variables to keep up with, and you got to stay on your toes. It's just asking for more liquidation. I mean, you make some good gains, but I think more people get hurt than helped by futures, honestly. We just want to talk about the gains and not talk about the losses. Well, my losses were kind of substantial over here, and let's see, are we on futures? Let's see if we can pull up my losses here. We got my trade history over here, and well, that's not for that. Futures. Let's go position history. This is my wins and losses, okay? So my last ones have been doing good since I put my rules back into effect. I've got, these are stop outs. They're not actual completed trades. I got stopped out in profit, 3%, 2%, 12%, 6%. It sounds lame, but at least, it wasn't lost. My losses before that, I don't know if you can see it because I'm in the way, but $2,500 here on, what day was it? 4th of July, I got liquidated for $2,400. That sucked. I got stopped out. Some of these little minor ones, I was stopped out, but my theory, I thought I was going to be stopped out in profit where I put my stop loss, but I guess with fees or whatever, however that works out or whatever, it came out just a little under. So those are stop losses. I don't count those so much as losses, but you know, for me personally. Now scoring, yeah, I score it as a loss because it's in the red. But look at here, right here, $3,531. That was June 24th. Kick my ass. This one is what hurt. I lost my Bitcoin. Oh, and I'm sensitive about my Bitcoin. Now that $35,000, that $3,500 trade that I had, yeah, my ego ass, I let my ego and all that, whatever, my emotions get to me and think I was, oh, you got this, baby. Ooh, yeah. Whatever, I got overconfident. I got my position up to 1.13 Bitcoin. What? That was a sign that I was crazy. That was too much for what I had there. I had 27,429 contracts that I got liquidated with Bitcoin. Right at 0.03 Bitcoin I lost. That hurt my feelings bad. That one, that was the slap in the face. I was like, son, you got a problem. Are you going to check in? Are you going to get some counseling? Are you going to get some help? Or are you just going to spin your way down to zero? Because that's where I'm headed. If I keep doing reckless shit like this, I'm not improving. And if my account doesn't consistently grow, then this sucks as a system, doesn't it? Or however, you know, how I execute it, I suck as a trader if I'm not making that money grow. I mean, I got lots to learn, which obviously I do if I'm getting liquidated. First sign of hell, man. You need to do something. It was, you know, there were lots of green trades. I can go on and on with lots of nice green trades. Everything's going beautiful and beautiful until shit hit the fan. And then suddenly there's lots more red. So that's what I've got. So what it came down to me is where was the mistake and how can we not do it again? And my mistake, if I can point it out here, because you saw me on streams and I talk about it. Look, guys, right here. When we break this area, you need to be paying yourself. And I did 25% or less. That's what I did. I was like, okay, we'll catch it down. And you know, I was expecting maybe she'll come back up and do something like this. That was my thought process. Didn't happen. Didn't even get much of a retest after we hit down here. Because that would have been, I would have been looking for that to kind of de-risk a little bit. Didn't get that chance. Didn't get it. She kept coming. And I kept getting in trouble until this day right here where she dropped down and she tanked my ass. I wasn't prepared. I was too high leveraged, and I thought, well, okay, you can buy in and it lowers your entry price. Yeah, you can. That's what you do when your back's against the wall and you got nothing to do. That should never be a strategy. And I was using it. I think I can finesse this strategy. And I was making progress. Well, I think you can. But then you got to ask yourself, okay, yeah, technically you can do it. Technically you can buy this and you can turn it around and you can turn this into the most awesome trade ever. Yeah. Or you can get liquidated like I did trying, because it would have been smarter if I just cut my losses. Even if I cut my losses here, took a $250 loss. I couldn't. My ego would not let me do it. I could not admit, I can't take this loss. I don't want to lose $250. But in retrospect, back here, it was a lot sweeter to lose that than lose $3,500 or $2,500. That's the lessons I've got to learn. That's the lessons I think I finally have learned. It was not going with my rule and using too high leverage. So the takeaways are: pay more attention to your damn trend lines and pay yourself. When you say pay yourself more, and don't use freaking high leverage. Not 20x. I got 8x right now. I was 10x, but my liquidation price was getting around to a place that we could go, so I had to lower my leverage so I would feel more comfortable. It's still in a kind of a fuzzy place for some of these, but if I do get in that situation, I can do these bad habits that I had before and maybe be okay. The smart thing is to keep taking profits when I can. Try not to treat this one as catch that big magical trade and just have little areas where I can peel off a little, peel off a little, peel off a little. Comes down, buy a little, buy a little. Well, that's my take on it. But it was breaking the rules. and too high of leverage. 20x. I couldn't handle 20x. Thought I could. But I'm not going to keep risking. It clearly getting spanked on my ass tells me that, well, you got to refine that. So that's what I'm doing. Refining. Guys, that's all I got to share. Hopefully that's been a little bit to give you something to think about, open your eyes to maybe some possibilities of actually how you can take, these things, these matters into your own hands. You can take your finances into your own hands. This opens up a new way of looking at it and a new way to look at your hodl bags. And it may be right for you. It may not be right for you. It's not for me to tell you that. You got to look. But I would recommend that you be comfortable with your spot trading. Be decent at your spot trading and your investing. If you're pretty good with that, you could probably do well with low leverage and manage it wisely. And you can take a little and make a lot more. But I would recommend that you have, a decent amount of experience with spot and with crypto. Have a good feel for it before you venture out into anything that involves leverage. What's the best way to deposit on CoinEx? I just throw whatever coins I want to, deposit whatever coins. So, what we got? Let's see, we got this. I usually use my phone, so when I'm looking at the website, I'm a little bit lost sometimes. But where? Oh yeah, here we are, right here. Deposit. That's right in front of me. Well, it's got this that will walk you through it. However you want to do it. Select the coin type or the network of your deposit. It does actually walk you through it. Complete. How do you like that? And that's what I do. So they got a little tutorial to walk you through it all too, if you do actually need some help. But I just pick whatever coin. Like if I'm putting Bitcoin, I just deposit my Bitcoin. If I want to go Tether, do that a lot. Move my Tether. They take Tether from BSC, Binance Smart Chain, cool. Ethereum or Tron. They take all three of those. Haven't got Solana yet. I think I've seen that. I think I've done it before. I just don't think they offer it right now. Sometimes they have wallets under maintenance, so check that before you send anything. Make sure that you check and see that it gives you the green light and doesn't say wallet under matrix, because I've done that before. Sent coins over there and the wallet's under matrix, and I'm sitting there waiting for maybe a month before they get everything straightened out, and it magically shows up, and I'm like, well, you're a little bit late to the game now. So those are some things to watch out for. But yeah, just deposit I just deposit my crypto over there. I never try to onboard fiat or anything crazy like that to exchanges. Just always taking my fiat or my coins, transfer them over there, and everything goes cool. No problems with it or anything. It's a good exchange. Unix is doing good too. So they don't offer spot margin, but they're stepping up their spot and their futures games a lot. So don't forget about that one too. For those things. All right, let's see if we got any more questions over here. Not seeing it. Oh, that's top chat. Let me go to live, make sure we're getting everything. Here we go. So I missed all the chat. I was trying to keep everyone entertained for you, says Sam. I appreciate that. And we're back. I really need to learn margin. Hopefully I've given you a little bit to look for. And CoinEx, remember, we talked about that. They will teach you how to do this. They'll teach you how to trade, man. So all these, you do a search for spot margin right there. And what's the difference? And then there's a guide in here somewhere. But everything that you need to understand, it's all over here. You guys spend a little time reading. Hopefully I kind of cleared it up for you, but to get the real deals and verify everything, they got it all over here, man. Right over here is margin trading, and I think, yeah, this is about margin trading tutorials. Whoops, click that. What is it? Here's the tutorials. They may even be videos, aren't they? How to start margin trading. So they've got all the tutorials over there. If you get caught up or got anything, questions I haven't been able to answer or anything, the information is there. And it's nothing really new other than managing what you borrow. Hey man, can I borrow 100? Listen man, I got $100 worth of this coin, man. Could you spot me 100? Yeah, they do. Because your coins are still there to pay off that. You're good. But when you go into profit, baby, it's nice. You doubled your bags. The trick that I found is just don't get greedy with what you borrow. Don't borrow. Try not to borrow more than you put in. You can. You'll figure it out. But just I wouldn't. I don't think I've ever borrowed twice of what I put in on anything. I don't think any of mine are more than twice of what I put in. And so let that be, something to look at or consider. Are we over here? Let's take a look. That's probably a good thing to look at. Total to be repaid. Well, I guess I have. I've got more on Bitcoin, and that's why my number is down here a little bit. Or do I? Yeah, it's a little bit more. Most of them are not. I think roughly when you're 150 or above, I think 150 puts you about that area. That 1-to-1 borrow should put you about 150%. If that makes sense. Like if you borrow $100, you put $100 in, you borrow $100. Oh hell. Let's find out. Let's find out. $100. I'm going to borrow $100 from my Bitcoin. I'm going to transfer that over from margin to spot. The tether, that's 100. I want to get a coin that I don't have, and let's test it out. Let's go to spot. We'll go through the whole process right here. Go to spot, because now I've got, let's see, so I hide small assets. So here's my hide small assets. So here's my $100. Let's see, what do I want to... So now I need to figure out my market. What am I going to buy here? It's so different from my phone, you got to give me a minute. I need something that's got spot markets right here, margin. This is what's available in margin. Find one that I don't have. Jeez. This is going to take me a minute because I got too many dang coins. And find something that's halfway. I moved you over there, right? I've already got you. I've already got all this. I don't have mask. Oh gosh, you're down a lot too. All right, I'll try you. I'm gonna buy some mask. All right, so mask is, she's not the greatest place for me to buy, to be honest with you. She's at a high. Now, it might, if she goes up and breaks this area, cool. But if she tries to flip over and come back down to go 150 or lower, well, I might be screwed. So I'm not going to buy a hoe. I can buy $100 worth if I want to do that. I will do that. I'm going to do that. I tell you what, a more smarter way to approach this, though, would... Let's go both ways. I'm going to go full Degen with $100. My other suggestion would be buy $50 worth, and then we'll transfer both the $50 and the $50 worth of coin over to spot margin. That would be a little bit of a more conservative way that I would recommend. But just to see what going all in right here at the very top of this where we are now. If it goes up, it works for us. If it goes down, it works against us. That was an important lesson learned. So let's just go ahead and let's buy us a bunch of this. $100 worth of just right now. Just do it. Just do it. FOMO in. Work on a FOMO in. This is the worst. We're going to make the, the newbie mistake right here and see what it does. Are you going to give it to me? You're going to let me buy it? All right, there we go. We bought it. Now I'm going to come over here to spot. See what I didn't get all of it, but I got enough. I got 40 of them. Looks like I got $87 worth. Good enough. Good enough. Okay. So I'm going to transfer this from spot to spot margin. Pick the one I wanted to transfer, which was, what was that? What the hell? Mask. So I gotta go find this. It's easier on your phone. You can just tap it and be right into it. Here, I gotta search a little bit. So let's go to mask USDT. I'm going to transfer all that mask over there, and let me show you exactly how this works. So this is me building a brand new position, borrowing off of my Bitcoin to build me a brand new position. And now watch me double this position. Really, or possibly. We'll take a look at it closer here. So now we've got it moved over. We go over to our margin. We got to scroll down and find it because it's down at the bottom somewhere. Mask right here. See, she's blank. She ain't got nothing here on my risk. I got 40 masks I put over there. Now I'm going to use that as collateral. What's this? I'm going to borrow Tether against it. How much can I borrow? I can borrow $174. I'm not going to. Now, I think there's a limit. You either got to borrow $50, sometimes $60. We're going to try to borrow $50 worth. Woohoo! All right, borrowing that $50 puts my liquidation price at 11 cents. Where are we right now with mask? We are at, what? Did I do that right? No, say that. That does make sense. Let's go back and look. Mask, my liquidation price is I borrowed $50, but look, I can, they want me to borrow more. Just borrowing $50, I'm still at 274%. I'm nowhere. My liquidation is $11, cents. Right there. That's just safely borrowed $50. I don't care if we are at a top. If we come down to 136, I'm probably still good. I could even FOMO in now and go just because I didn't borrow the whole amount, right? I think I already tried this, didn't I? So look, let's just say I FOMO in and I spend half of it. I mean, I'm a conservative FOMO. I bought 25 masks. Let's go back and take a look. Now I've got 51 masks. I got to pay back $50, and my risk amount is 274. My liquidation price has jumped up. Now I'm at 54 cents. Could we hit that? I don't know. I doubt it. Mask usually hangs around about $3, so we're at a really good price to get it. So I don't mind doing this. What happens if I? So now I've just added my from 40. I've just added 10 with no consequence. What happens if I did the worst? If I just FOMO'd in? I mean, I can. I've got enough to work with here. I really. But let's just do it just to give you an examples about what it would look like. Okay, so FOMO'd in. Now I've got 62 masks. I've only put 40 masks over here, but now I've got 62. I've increased that bag 50% because I only borrowed 50% of what I put over there. Remember? I only borrowed 50 out of the $87 I put over there. So if mask goes up, at some point I can repay this $50 spend and I'm free and clear. If I want to borrow, now watch this. I can borrow $124 because I've got 60 masks as collateral. I'm not going to do that. I would consider if we start dropping. I want to keep this at 274%. I'm cool with that. Right now I'm cool with that because we'll figure out what mask is going to do, right? She could drop. She could continue dropping. If she did and come down, where could she come down to? If she comes back to 180, she probably won't. But if she did, I'm safe. I'm safe all the way down to 54 cents, which is way the fuck down here. See this? She's got to drop all the way down here for me to get liquidated. I'm fairly in a fairly safe place. Even on the context that we got this channel idea going here. And we got some kind of wild ass measured move that could drop us down. Because mask was up here about $6. Oh my, what's happening? Are you on log? Oh crap, you can't do this on log. If you guys don't know, you don't pattern trade on log. You're always on linear when you pattern trade, especially you take a measure moves. Because of this. You see what's happening? My measure move is growing as we're on auto, not auto. I don't want log. Thank you. So that's alpha. Okay, here's my measure move. So it's come down to -$2. Well, I can't swing that. Is that right? I guess so, because that's a big jump. Okay, I wouldn't make that. I can only get it down to, we were on log scale. That's why it worked so weird. Gosh darn it. All right, so we would have to come down to 54 cents. We'd have to come down here. Draw a line. Draw something. 63 cents. Okay, that's close enough. We would have to drop down there for me to get liquidated. I feel fairly comfortable that we might not do that. Now, here's the cool thing. If with such a small position like I've got there with $100, if it did, and I was still in this and it got away from me, all I got to do is add like $25 to this and I'm safe again. Don't believe me? Look, our liquidation price is $12 here. I got money that we didn't cash, that we didn't put over here. Let's transfer it and see what kind of a difference it makes. USDT tether from spot. There's $12. If I add $12 to this account, how is that going to help my liquidation? Yes, it is. The $12 just dropped my liquidation from 80 something cents to 64 cents. That's how you can manage this. This is the flexibility that this gives you. And hopefully you can kind of see what I'm hinting at here, if it makes some sense to you. This is a good way to build your wealth, but you gotta be mindful and you gotta manage it, and you gotta pay close attention to the liquidation prices and the risk that you have on your collateral. But for the bags are sitting there doing jack shit for you. When we get big ass corrections in this market, you can pull them over to a spot margin account and use them to your benefit. And then you can take any kind of messed up bags or positions you're in, bring them to a profit level, and if you want to get out of them, get out of them. You made up your money, you're back to good, or maybe you made some profit. But it's a better way to manage things, I think, than just leaving them on the exchange and doing nothing in certain situations. But clearly, I want to recommend and say one more time, I've got way too many down positions. I shouldn't have this many coins and all that. But my plan is to weed them out. Start focusing on building this Bitcoin. 2.27 Bitcoin there. I'd like to see that get to 5. Who knows? I'd love to see it get to 10. Will it? I don't know. We're just going to work this slowly. See what we can squeeze out of the little bit of Bitcoin that I started this whole thing off with. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Hopefully I've shared some kind of alpha with you that's worth the $3 a month that you want to donate to help support the channel. I want to try to give back something too to help you guys out. And I'll see you on the next one. If you guys want me, any of these membership streams to talk over whatever topics, comment in the actual video or the actual stream. Not the chat, but the actual comments, and that way it'll get to me. I got a record of it, and then I can address those topics. But these private streams are for you guys, just to give you alpha that you may not come across and go over things that maybe you got questions about that I can help with. Some things I won't have a clue about, but what I can help with, I'm more than happy to do that. Because we're out here to make life-changing money, and God said, let there be Bitcoin, and it was good, and it's here to help us out. And that's my take on it. Thanks for hanging out, guys. See you on the next one.
Come on, come here, bud. Come on. You freaky dog.
Chris says, have you considered live trading and coin analysis using CoinEx maybe once a week for subscribers? No, I appreciate that. Maybe. That's the kind of feedback that I would like to have. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Can I copy that and save that? My problem, I gotta write this down or I'll forget. Live trading and coin analysis using CoinEx. For subscribers. For the subscriber, once a week for the. Oh, okay. All right. Coins like Pokemon, he got them all. I got too dang many, man. Awesome stream. Good. I hope I was able to share something with you can use. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. See you on the night.